Morning, everyone. We got a full house today. We usually don't have that. Y'all come back next time too. We meet next Monday, or what? A couple of Mondays from now. So that would be great. All right. So welcome to the morning, June 6th, 2022 Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. I will call the meeting to order and call on Commissioner Booth for the invocation and the pledge.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Heavenly Father, thank you for joining us here this morning. Please give us the wisdom to make the decisions that are in the best interest of all the citizens of Cumberland County. Let us be open to the voices that we'll hear from today. Let's weigh it all, again, in the best interest of all concerned. May we do right by your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning. Morning. Madam Manager, if you come up here with me for a moment. It does give me pleasure. Cindy Tucker, if you come on up with me before. Come right on up here. As I've said before, one of our greatest joys as commissioners is the celebration of our greatest resources, our employees. Today, we honor someone who retired very recently on March 31st after a long, distinguished career serving Cumberland County's government administration. Cindy Tucker joined the county in 2000 and served as administrative coordinator to the county manager for 22 years. That was good. See, everybody laughed at that. See, I don't know if that says something about you or not. Up until her retirement this year. It's a demanding job that requires professionalism, proficiency, and people skills, and you had all of those. Cindy demonstrated all of these qualities and more during her time, serving 3 different county managers. Whew. In addition to her duties in the county administration office, Cindy provided invaluable administrative support to the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, better known as JCPC. Cindy's talents for organizing and her meticulous preparation for meetings were greatly appreciated and will be missed. It is an honor to recognize Cindy Tucker, our employee, former employee, and our friend who gave so much to Cumberland County. We wish you a happy, fulfilling retirement. Presented to Cindy Tucker Administration in recognition of outstanding service to the citizens of Cumberland County, April 17, 2000 through March 31st, 2022, from the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners. Thank you. Normally y'all stand up, but y'all come down. Let's get one in the wheel with Cindy. And you want to say a couple of words while they're coming down.
I just would like to thank the Board of Commissioners and the County Manager's Office for providing me a tremendous opportunity for 22 years. I've enjoyed working for the citizens of Cumberland County, and these people work really hard, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it. Thank you.
That's right.
push me.
Move that microphone around. I lost my glasses. All right. That will take us to the approval of the agenda, Madam Manager. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Commissioner Booth?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On 4A, seeing it labeled, called, discussed, all kinds of different, I don't even think we have a common description as to what that's supposed to be.
What's 4A?
4A, the public hearing. Also, in as much as we have a regular agenda to go through, also considering possibly looking at the budget, I would move that we move 4A to a separate night of its own, and at that meeting, since that'd be the only sole item on the agenda, and that we waive the time constraints so we can hear from everybody about everything.
That's a motion. Is there a second? There is no second. That dies. So if I can get approval of the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
That is unanimous.
All right. That will take us to presentations. Update on the Cumberland County Public Library Summer Reading Program. Madam Manager.
Yes, sir. I'd like to recognize our library director, Ms. Faith Phillips, and she's going to give a short update on the summer reading program. Good morning, Ms. Phillips.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning, County Leadership Team. Thank you so much for having me today to provide an update about our summer reading program. But before I go into that, I wanted to take a moment to thank you all for 2 decisions you have made for the library this year. The ability to go fine and late fee free for our customers, and the removal of out-of-county residence cards for our county employees. These 2 initiatives, there's not enough time in the day to tell you all of the positive stories that I have heard because of these decisions you've made. So the decisions have made a great impact on our citizens, so thank you for that. Now, on to summer reading. So our summer reading program started on June the 1st, and it goes through August the 15th. Our citizens can join at any time. Summer reading is designed to encourage people of all ages to continue to read over the summer. But most importantly, it's to combat the summer slide in our students as they're out of school for the summer. The theme this year The theme this year is Oceans of Possibilities, and we have a number of great prizes and programs. So our prizes, the breakdown for the prizes is on the board, but there are 2 prizes that I want to bring to everyone's attention. The first is this year we are doing something different. We have limited edition Cumberland County Public Library Summer Reading t-shirts designed by our PIO office, so thank you to them. And so if adults read 5 books, and by read it's a physical book or an audio book, or for our children and teens, if they read 10 hours, and that's read or listen, they will get one of these t-shirts. We have it a limited number, so I encourage our community members to read their books quickly so they can get a t-shirt, because once they're gone, they're gone. Everyone who enters into the summer reading program has the ability to be in the drawing for our grand prizes. Our grand prizes are a bundle that include a free family pass for a year to all 3 of the North Carolina aquariums, plus a few items that you may or may not need for a very fun day at the beach. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to our friends of the Cumberland County Public Library for their generous support for our prizes. As I mentioned, we have some awesome programs that are also happening. The NC Aquarium will be doing some programs for us on turtles and sea creatures, and we are very hopeful that they may bring some of their creatures with them, so that's always fun for the kids. For more information, community members can go to our library's website at www.cumberlandcountync.gov/library for the full calendar of events. And speaking of the website, that is a great place to learn more about the library in general, but to sign up for summer reading. Folks can also come by any of our library locations, and our staff members would be happy to help people sign up. And the hours are here on the screen, and I want to announce that we will be expanding our Sunday hours once again, starting on July the 10th. We will be providing Sunday hours from Sunday 2 to 6 p.m. at our North Regional Library, our Cliffdale Regional Library, our Hope Mills Branch Library, and that's all in addition to the hours at Headquarters Library. Again, that website is www.cumberlandcountyNC.gov/library. And finally, thank you so much for having me today. Carla Brooks, who is our division manager for programs and services, has put all of this together, and she has a wonderful gift for you all that Candace and the team have, and you all will get it upstairs. So if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions? I think it's a great summer reading program, and sometimes you don't toot your own horn. What they say is the poor frog that won't croak in his own pond. Understand that the library got a $135,000 grant just the other day. If you tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So the library was awarded $135,000 for the first year of a 2-year project for our Forward Together project, which is about expanding our capacity for programming. Just a few things. There's a lot more programs, maker equipment. We're going to have laser cutters, 3D printers, robotics, multi-sensory elements in our location. So that is one of the items. Will be a 18-foot by 6-foot light wall that children can come in and interact with our headquarters location. Bubble tubes, all kinds of really fun items. I'm so excited.
I saw that you had done one of these before, and
Yes.
it's especially for those kids who have autism who can do
Yes.
that screen and everything. It's just tremendous. Thank you so very much. Anybody have any questions or comments? Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you so much.
All right. I encourage everybody to visit all of our libraries, the headquarters library, and all of our branches. That takes us to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any items to be removed from the consent agenda? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
That is unanimous.
Thank you. All right. That will take us to our public hearings, the amendment of the subdivision and zoning ordinance, and it says to eliminate zero lot line subdivision. Let me just make a couple of comments before we get started. I know we do have some people that signed up to speak, and I ended up getting a lot of emails from all of you all. Same email, but they got the emails anyway. But there's been a lot of, I think, miscommunication, misinformation that's been out in the community. I saw one that said that this board was looking to get away from development in this community. That is the farthest thing from the truth. We understand development is going to happen. We want orderly development, but that's going to happen. I think the next thing was that we were getting rid of zero lot line subdivision. That's not correct either. I think that there was some issue as to the zero lot line being able to be approved just on an application by staff. I think this board wanted to have a process and an ordinance to be able to determine how that would go through, but not get rid of zero lot line. I don't know if that changes some of the people who speak, but I think if I look up and down, that's kind of everybody's agreement that we were not get rid of either one of those two things. But with that, we will call on the county manager. Did I do that correct, everybody? Is that kind of where we are? Call on the county manager to read our rules for the public hearing.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, arguments by the proponents and opponents shall be limited to a maximum of 10 minutes for each side. If arguments are presented by a group representative, that presentation will be limited to a maximum period of 5 minutes. If there is no group representative, each speaker shall be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes until the 10-minute time limit is attained. Rebuttals will only be permitted at the discretion of the chairman with a maximum of 1 3-minute presentation by each side. And I would ask, as each speaker comes forward, please make sure that you project into the microphone so that those sitting in the overflow area may be able to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. I would now open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, are there any speakers?
Chairman and Commissioners, we have 4 speakers in opposition.
All right, if you call the first speaker.
Our first speaker is Ms. Lori Epler.
Yes, Ms. Epler, welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners and County staff. What is zero lot line? In layperson terms, it allows a property owner to subdivide property and deviate from the minimum lot sizes as long as they do not exceed the density that would be allowed on the property if there were no problems with it. It does allow for smaller setbacks than the zoning ordinance calls for, but that's of little help in the county, especially if there is no sewer available, which that's most of our county properties. The setbacks could be larger than 5 feet than what's currently allowed, and it wouldn't negatively affect any development in the county. But what is a problem is when an owner has 20 acres that would yield 10 lots in A1. But 10 acres is wetlands, bad land, floodland, something's wrong with it, it won't support a septic system. Without zero lot line, that owner, instead of getting 10 1-acre lots with 10 acres of open space, he'll only get 5 2-acre lots and a swamp left over. So working with the surveying and engineering company for 39 years, I've seen a lot of development in Cumberland County. And a large majority of it is good. We have had zero lot line in use the entire time. I've seen hundreds of neighborhoods built, and some of them zero lot line was critical, and for some it wasn't. Now it's critical to everyone. The easy projects are all gone. Everything we do today is a challenge in either bad soil, stormwater rules, elevation changes, wetlands. Don't rip away the biggest positive thing Cumberland County has to protect the investment property owners have who want to develop their land. If you do away with zero lot line, you've stolen from Cumberland County landowners the right to maximize their full investment on property already paid for. I served on the planning board for 12 years. That board is comprised of folks from all areas of the county and represents every municipality except the city of Fayetteville. Certain members of that board are appointed to a codes committee. The responsibility of that committee is to review and evaluate changes to the ordinances proposed by staff and give input to the revisions that go to the planning board and ultimately to you for approval. Historically, all the changes to the ordinance have gone through that process. We can't understand the crisis that now justifies a deviation from that process, especially a revision this drastic. We hope you'll reconsider this rash decision and let your staff and planning board accomplish your goals in a more sensitive way. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker,
Our second speaker in opposition is Ms. Amanda Smith.
Ms. Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Amanda Smith, and I'm the president of the Longleaf Pine Realtors Association. The American dream of home ownership has become a nightmare. We're in the worst housing shortage we've ever experienced. On June 1st, there were 388 homes for sale in Cumberland County. 79 of those were outside the city limits. A healthy, balanced market would be 2,700 homes for sale. Daily, we search for homes for our buyers, and they just don't exist. We submit offers that are one of 5 or 10 or 43. Imagine what it feels like to desperately need a home and submit 42 good offers, and you keep hearing no over and over. No, there's no inventory. No, someone else got there first. You'll need to extend your Airbnb again. Can you stay with your mother-in-law 6 more weeks? NAR stats say if we accelerate new construction, we are looking at a decade to gain ground on the shortage. We can't bear a moratorium or removal of zero lot line development without a solution on the table. We can do better than that for our community. We are facing a potential decades-long gap in generational wealth. This will nearly wipe away all affordable new homes in the county. Our veterans and soldiers are feeling the pain when trying to use a VA loan to buy. We need more houses, not less. Realtors have been and always will be advocates for affordable housing and private property rights. We desire to work with you all to be part of the solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our third speaker in opposition is Jamie Godwin.
Mr. Godwin, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm Jamie Godwin. I'm the president of the Home Builders Association of Fayetteville. To build homes that our market requires, we need lots that must be developed. Any moratorium or significant change to the development ordinance particularly around the zero lot line provisions that we utilize, would have significant impacts on our ability to develop within Cumberland County. This not only affects the sellers of the land, but our developers, builders, and the many suppliers and trade contractors that work on these projects. The National Association of Home Builders conducted a study in 2020 determining that building just one home results in 2.9 jobs and generates over $129,000 total in federal, state, local taxes and fees. On average, there are 24 different subcontractors that work on each home. This represents thousands of jobs and employments for folks within our area here. In my experience, the biggest concern we hear from folks around the zero lot line developments are the setbacks, as we spoke about earlier. The setbacks give us the right to build homes with 10 feet between the buildings. However, in most of the current 75 plus zero lot line communities within the county, this isn't actually even necessary because many of them are on on-site wastewater or septic systems. Thus, the lots have to be large enough to accommodate that. In the past 12 months, my business, A&G Residential, has built over 30 homes in zero lot line communities within Cumberland County. Our average side setback on our homes are over 30 feet. The zero lot line provision was necessary in order for the developers to make these developments possible based on the location of good soils within the subdivisions. Without this provision or some version of it, most developments would not be possible. If builders can't develop lots and build homes in Cumberland County, they will shift to surrounding areas that are more accommodating. Many local builders are already doing more work now in Sampson, Harnett, Hoke, and Robeson counties due to the lack of availability of lots here. We ask on behalf of the many stakeholders in our industry to have the opportunity to provide input and work with the staff in a deliberate manner rather than imposing a moratorium or rushing to a quick decision to amend the current development ordinance. Thank you.
Our final speaker in favor, in opposition.
Don't get Mr. Yarborough in trouble in front of this group.
My apologies. Our final speaker in opposition is Mr. Neil Yarborough.
And I have
Good morning, Mr.
I have
Yarborough.
about 3 minutes left.
Your time is running.
Thank you. Transparency and community involvement. We hear a lot about that in government now. And that's what I'm really here to talk about today. Whether there needs to be a zero lot line subdivision ever or not, it should be as a part of an orderly, transparent process with community involvement.
Can you speak a little further in that
Yes,
microphone? Yeah,
I've never been asked to speak up. We have had and enjoyed the benefits of zero lot line subdivision for 40 years. By the way, it's a very bad name. It should be something like
Absolutely.
adjustable
It
lot
should be,
line,
yeah.
modified lot line. We've had it for 40 years. It was developed through a transparent community process by such wonderful planners as Cliff Strassenberg, Al Mitchell, and a whole team of people involved in community meetings, planning board meetings, planning staff meetings. It is the way development happens. It is also the way our 2010 plan has been developed. Our 2030 plan has been developed. And it's the way this should go. There should be, if you're considering doing something with the subdivision, or the subdivision ordinance, which is an integral part of our land regulation process, then it needs to go through the same orderly process that and this affects thousands of people, that you would when you're considering a rezoning for one person or one community. It should be an all-inclusive and transparent type process where all the stakeholders, the communities, the business entities, Fort Bragg, and other people should be able to do it. Many years ago, the county sent me to a seminar at the School of Government about facilitating community decisions. Well, this decision needs to be facilitated through community involvement. That is what, according to the School of Government, creates decisions that last. You know very well that in every land regulation decision, there's going to be people who are pleased and people who are disappointed. But at least if you go through the process, and this is about process, it's not about personalities, It's not about anything else. It's about public policy and process. If you go through the process, and if people think they have a fair shake to be heard, and they think it is a well-considered, deliberate decision, they'll accept it. They may not like it, but they'll accept it. But to do something on this short of hand would be a very bad mistake. I have asked for my 2 letters to be part of the record, and would all those people who are in the room please stand who are in opposition.
Thank you.
And we also
Thank you.
have people in the overflow
Right.
room. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers?
There are no further speakers.
Then I will close the public hearing. And again, as I started off, and I think the speakers reiterated basically what I think this board's decision is. It is not to necessarily get rid of zero lot line. It was to do a moratorium for 90 days so that it could be studied by staff and brought back to the commissioners. And it would be hopefully our intent that as we have that everybody who is a stakeholder would have an opportunity to comment and to have that ordinance done, just like we did all of our 2010 plans, as we did each one of our land use plans. I think that is where we were going. We were not getting rid of zero lot line. We were not going to allow people to have input in it for or against. I think there was a lot of miscommunication on that. If any one of the commissioners has anything to add to that, I think that's eventually going to be the motion on that. And I do agree that when you talk about zero lot line, that is a misnomer. It does set people off. There is some as to everything that has to perk out in the county because you don't have sewer. It does make you have to do some things a little bit differently than normally you would have to do when you got water and sewer. But I think right now is that the process was that, if somebody went in to rezone their land, they'd have to come to the Board of Commissioners to have all of that heard. These were being done, I think, without any input from this board. So I think Commissioner Keefe had his, I'll go to Commissioner Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know you guys are mad. I know. And the word moratorium sets you off just like the word zero lot line sets off the people that are surrounding the area that you're trying to develop. And that is what we have to deal with. I respect everybody that came up here and spoke, and I know most of them. I got 158 letters. Probably 20, 25 of those people, I know I'm in their cell phone, but I only had one person call me to explain this. In my 14 years as a commissioner, I have yet to have one zero lot line development come before us that I recall. Every one of these have been coming in such a manner that I found out afterwards that these could be done at the staff level without any commissioner input, without any residential input. When this came about, I personally had a conversation with some people, and I asked that members of the Home Builder Association get a subcommittee together because this should be changed. If anything, the terminology should be changed. Zero lot line is not. And to Jamie's point over there, most of the ones are not. It's just the way that you have to go through the process. I have supported many builders throughout the years on getting rezonings that were adequate for the rural areas. As Mr. Yarborough asked everybody to come out and said, how many people support this, and everybody stood up, I would ask how many people have been denied rezoning in the rural areas in the last 4 or 5 years? Okay, so I think we want to work this with you, but it has to be a partnership with the home builders. In information that I found out later after the moratorium, I'm not going to support the moratorium only because I believe that we can all get together on this and have something that works well for the developer, works well for the neighbor, and it also gives oversight to strategic development as it comes through. At the end of this, if a subcommittee is actively involved in this, you may find out that you are not hamstrung by having to be restricted to the current zoning. As Ms. Epler said earlier, what if half of that land is not buildable? Well, what if all of that land is buildable? Then you just lost half your acreage that you can't do anything about unless you come back to us on the zero lot line. You have that opportunity. So I'm not so sure that a moratorium is needed right now, because quite frankly, the fear is there's going to be a mad rush at planning, that everybody's going to come and want to put in their zero lot lines. And if builders are anything like most, these things take planning and time to do. So I don't believe that that's going to be an issue. But I'm gonna throw some blame out, and some of that blame is coming from right up here on this dais. But our planning board and our planning staff, a lot of this has come about because there has been conflicting recommendations from the planning board and the planning staff when they come to us. And a lot of builders have been hurt by that. They've been hurt. And if you probably know some of them. So that is my point on this. This is not as simple as I've heard some builders say, why are you stopping development in Cumberland County for 90 days? I would never, ever, ever do anything like that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, I will entertain a motion to do a 90-day moratorium just on the zero lot line, to send it to the planning board for them to seek input and bring back with a recommendation to this board. Does not have to do anything with developing or any of that. If I could entertain a motion.
That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. All of those in favor?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Council, Stewart, and Adams. Voting in opposition, Commissioners Lancaster, Booth, and Keith. The motion fails.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that will take us to our next
You want
item.
to clear the room? You want to clear the room?
They can leave whenever they want to. I'm not holding them in.
Well, it's just going to be loud.
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I should have said before, but they still need to review the ordinance. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And just before you all leave, and I know some people left, so just so I can make sure that y'all understand that we are going to ask staff to look at that ordinance and bring something forward. So if you hear that, don't get that it failed and they didn't do it. The moratorium failed, but I think we're still going to ask staff to look at that and bring it back to the Board of Commissioners, so everybody's on the same wavelength. All right. It is true.
Great.
All
Thanks.
right, all right.
Hey, pick somebody.
Wow, that is.
Hey, Jimmy, it's too late for me.
I don't know.
Because they don't even approve it. It's just an application. Once the application is done, it's just an application. All right, we will move back to our business, and that takes us to item of business 5A, which is consideration of offers to purchase surplus property. Mr. Morefield.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is the 12-acre vacant lot adjacent to the Cape Fear River that the board tabled, I think, back in April, maybe March. And I know that you looked at your policy since then, and I just put it back as an item of business to the person who made that bid keeps calling the office, don't know what's going on. So I'd ask that you either reject it or approve it, and let's move on with it.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Before, and Rawls, you might be able to do this because I just didn't know, and I tried to look it up. What is SF6? That's what is zoned. What is that?
Single family, 6,000 square feet.
Okay. Commissioner Keith.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm the one that asked about this. I since did some research on it. I found out this piece of property is actually landlocked. There is no way to get to it. I'm not sure who is looking at it unless they There's no easements.
Mr. Keith, I would discuss it too.
I'd make a motion to approve.
If you will read the, I think, so we don't get into all of the issues, is, I guess that all of that,
What am I reading here?
where is the motion? I see recommendation, proposed action.
He made,
Make a recommendation to approve the offer to purchase surplus property being 12.44 acres of vacant land located adjacent to the Cape Fear River in Fable.
and that's what I seconded.
All right. It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Unanimous.
All righty. That takes us to nominations. Madam Vice Chairwoman.
There is one vacancy for the Animal Service Board. The Animal Service Board recommends nomination of Dennis Patterson.
Are there any other nominations? Board of Adjustment?
The Board of Adjustments has one vacancy, and they recommend nominations for Linda Amos.
All right. And the Fayetteville Cumberland Parks and Rec. Let me, did anybody else get a phone call? I got a phone call from Mr. Harold Metzler. Mr. Metzler said that due to the pandemic, they didn't get to meet much and didn't meet much at all. And so he's done his 2 terms, and he was asking, and I told him I would bring it to the board's attention. He's asking that that be set aside so that he could do 1 more term because he did not get an opportunity to do that, and they had a lot of stuff coming before them. Mr. Commissioner Booth.
I get a similar call, and my thing on these boards is when folks ask to be on, rather than we just throw a name out there, I'm more impressed with that, and someone taking the effort to say, I'd like to do this. I went back and have looked, and he's one of the people that show up. They call him Wednesday, 6 o'clock meeting, he's there, 5:55. So he wants to do it, and he's very attentive when he is on it, so I would move that we waive it for 1 more term for Mr. Schmelzer.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of that?
Voting in favor, Commissioners Lancaster, Stewart, Adams, Booth, and Keefe. Voting in opposition, Commissioner Council. The motion passes. May I confirm the second to the motion?
It was me. Well, that was just
Thank you.
to waive our
Right.
policy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was just to waive the policy. Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see, oh, there it is right there. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, you all don't include me, but that's okay. Are we going to do that for every board? Because everybody had COVID.
That's the only call I got. I mean,
I mean, not everybody had
Have we done it 2
COVID.
times for her in the last 6 months?
Said what?
Have we done
We
it
just
2
did it
times
for you.
in the last 6 months?
2 times for me.
Board
Yeah.
of Health and
Southeastern.
Southeast.
We've been waiving policies like this all over the place.
yes.
I'm sorry. I was looking at the fairness of the issue. I was not trying to be nasty about it.
Right.
I was not trying to be nasty.
And I guess what we need to do is at least some point think about what our policy is, and because this does come up, I think we did it for the manager, because she was gonna be, one of the Southeastern.
The
That was through the
executive board, yes,
Southeastern, yes. So that motion passes. Thank everyone, and, so Madam, Vice Chairwoman.
The Fayetteville Cumberland Parks and Recreation Advisory Board also would like to recommend Carl Blue.
That'll be Harold Metzler and Carl Blue. Thank you. That takes us to appointments.
The Workforce Development Board offers a motion to appoint Dr. Mark Sorrells in the Representative of Education category and Jonette Quinham in the Representative of Labor category.
All right. There any other nominations?
That's a motion.
Oh, that's that's a motion to appoint.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a second? All those in favor? I'm sorry.
Unanimous.
All right. So at this point, I will recess the Board of Commissioners meeting, and we will go up to the conference room 564 to go into.
Close.
Okay. Yeah, we do that upstairs.